Hi again guys, CM back again with another video. I know it's been a long time. Current job that I've had since November has kept me pretty busy, as well as Tank Fest, which I absolutely loved. Had a great time there, made a lot of good contacts that I hadn't met before, as well as catching up with a lot of people that I've known for a while now. It was really good to see everyone there. It was really good to see some of the guest tanks like the Wheeled Foundation's Jagdpanther and the guest Firefly that they had there. Really a fantastic time, and you guys will probably notice this who've known me a while. I will never not recommend Tank Fest. I'd really, if you can go. It's a great time. Anyway, today, review of a tank that I have been trying to 3-mark lately. The STG. Also comes in a variant called the Guard, which has a unique skin. But I've been going for the non-skin version. Russian tier 8 premium medium. And I'm gonna say spoiler alert right now, I'm not gonna have kind things to say about this one. Yes, it's one of those reviews. I'm gonna start with the armor. There's not really any for the most part. Your frontal hull, 100mm. It's not that well angled, and a lot of things that you meet, well, pretty much everything you meet will pen it. Then you've also got little patches of 120 here and here. They're not that well angled, so pretty much everything from your same tier will pen it with standard ammo. Some lower tiers as well, mainly tier 7s and maybe some tier 6 TDs with standard. And all tier 6s with premium will pen those pretty much, apart from maybe some of the lights. And then the side armor, so about the side armor, 45mm, so you can sort of side scrape as long as it's not a gun that's over 150mm, but it's not really gonna work anyway, because those angled bits at the front, yeah, those are weak spots when you angle. So if you try to side scrape, you're probably just gonna get shot in those. Like if I even turn the turret for when you're trying to go around a corner, yeah, you can see that those parts show before your gun even does. So that's pretty great. Another part, this little segment right here, you can actually see that from this angle, you've got your main frontal plate there, where I'm scrolling the mouse, and then you've got another plate of 30mm just above that. That is gonna torment you endlessly, because there's a lot of guns that you will meet that are over 90mm in caliber, and so will auto pen that. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, some lower tier stuff that doesn't have that will auto bounce, like some of your 75mm and your 88mm. But other than that, it's gonna bounce. And I think with some guns they can pen it frontally on that anyway, even without needing to auto pen. Onto the turret. I'm not gonna bother with the back of the tank because everyone knows that's paper anyway. The turret, you've got some armor. Most of your turret is about 200 effective, going up to about 220. So some same and lower tier stuff with maybe standard ammo from same tier, some lower tier stuff, depending on which tank it is, can bounce some premium ammo, but it's not great. You do also have a pretty decent sized cupola, which is 130 at its weakest, when it's at its flattest, so pretty much everything it meets will pen that with AP. And then it does get a little better towards the edge, but not really enough. You do have another couple of cupolas towards the back, but no one's really going to hit those from the front. Maybe it's a taller tank, they may overmatch the roof armor on those, which is only 20. Then again, they may hit the rear of the roof armor, which is also 20. The front half of the roof armor is 45, so depending on the angle, that'll auto ricochet up to 150mm, well, into under 150mm caliber guns. Then you've got the gun mantlet, which is actually pretty good on this tank. So if I go to the live model here, you can see that you've got quite a large area that you're actually pretty well protected. If they hit the gun mantlet, that is, which is not gonna be great. And you do have a couple of weak spots either side of the gun. Other than that, the turret is okay. It will bounce now and then. It's nothing special though. You do have one last problem with the armor, and that is the deck armor. Now, This thing is gonna be an RT magnet if there's no heavy tanks or super squishy things left, because look at that landing strip for a start. Look at that. RT is just gonna absolutely shit on you, especially since this is only 20 millimeters thick. Yeah, RT will hurt a lot if it hits that deck, and it will occasionally. It's one of the frustrating parts about this tank, because not only that, but tanks that are slightly taller than you can literally just ignore your turret completely and shoot into that. Like if they're at kind of like this angle, yeah, anything over 60 millimeters in caliber is gonna go right through that. So not a fun time as far as armor goes, I'm sure you guys will agree. Moving on to the stats, well, you've got a 122mm gun, which means you've got decent alpha, which is 390, which is good for a medium as far as the tier goes. About the rest of the stats though, 212 AP pen is decent for... I mean, the pen values are pretty much on par for the tier. I'm not going to shit on those too much, but there will be a lot of times where you get up-tiered, or even if you face certain tanks of the same tier, like the VK100, or even things like the Defender, where you're gonna need that APCR. And by need, I mean you will absolutely need it. And you're gonna actually want to keep quite a few, because this tank does not have a big ammo capacity, which we'll get onto in a moment. Your gun handling stats are not that great either. I mean, they're alright compared to some other 122s. Your rate of fire is not that great compared to the other 122s though, so you've got a bit of a lacking DPM. Base DPM with just a 100% crew is just under 1700, which is not great for the tier at all. You're gonna find yourself wishing you had a smaller caliber gun like a 100mm that can still easily track things and keep them tracked and doing more consistent damage without lacking too much in the alpha damage department. As far as the gun handling goes, 0.33 dispersion, so I mean, fully aimed. On paper this is good for when you're fully aimed. In practice, not so much. Your 2.5 second aim time means you will take some time to aim for weak spots. Your 0.22 dispersion when moving or turning the tank is gonna really hinder anything. Any time that you're gonna try and aim, you're gonna really notice that, even with vert stabs. 0.12 when turning the turret is fairly average. I'm not gonna hate on that too much, but it's still not great. And then we get on to the shell velocity, and this is where this tank struggles a bit. 880 meters per second shell velocity on the AP, and then 1000 on the APCR. It does feel pretty derpy, because I'll get onto this in a moment for how this tank is ideally supposed to be played going by all the characteristics. Then we get onto the ammo capacity. You've only got 35 shells, so you cannot take a lot. Sure, you do have 390 alpha, which is good, but you're gonna be wishing you had maybe 40 shells in this thing rather than 35, so you could spread the ammo loadout out a bit better. Shell cost isn't too bad, 840 on AP and then 4400 on APCR. As a premium tank, that's actually not too bad, considering you get 390 alpha. Getting onto the mobility, 50 kilometers an hour top speed is pretty nice, 20 in reverse. However, your power to weight is kind of mediocre. You've only got 14 horsepower per ton with that 400 horsepower engine. Tank turns relatively quick at 45 degrees a second, so you can bring... if you need to turn quickly, then you can bring the front of your tank to bear when you need to, reasonably quick. Terrain resistances are fairly average. I mean, mobility-wise, it's not bad. It just feels like it could be a little better. I would say if this tank were to get a mobility buff of any sort, give it some more power to weight, maybe make that 16 or 17, and then it'd be in a much better place. Gun elevation and depression, fairly standard Russian affair, 17 degrees of elevation and 6 degrees of depression. Nothing amazing there. workable as far as this tank goes, but standard Russian affair as before. You do have 1350 hit points, which is not bad as far as tier 8 mediums go. Fairly average. Nothing to complain about there. Your modules, I tend to find that these are not like the most accurate things to go on tanks.gg, because from what I remember there is some RNG on module damage. I found that being a front mounted engine in this tank, that engine fires and fuel tank fires were the most common things to happen. Sometimes you would get ammo racked depending where you got hit, but that would generally be if you got hit in the back of the turret, where I believe that's where the ammo rack is kept. Lastly, we're on to what for me is actually the most disappointing thing about this tank, more than pretty much anything else, and that's the view range. Pretty much every other medium at tier 8 has either 380 meters view range or more. 370 on this thing, just it ain't it, chief. It ain't it. You're gonna find yourself wanting to run maybe some directives to get a little bit of a boost to that, as well as your full view range skills. Because for me, when I'm running optics, I think I don't even have vert stabs on this thing anymore for marking. I've got vents on this thing now because I need the view range. So optics, vents, brothers in arms, both view range skills, and food, and a directive that buffs the effect of optics gets me just under 470 meters view range. I think it was like something like 468, which is not good for the tier. It's pretty garbage for that, if I'm honest. So you're really not gonna be spotting stuff very well. You're gonna spot some stuff here and there, but it's not great. You're gonna want a vehicle with 380 view range at the very least at tier 8. So, on to the match. So, we're on a match on Paris. Full tier 8, so you'll get to see it against same tier tanks. This is not actually the best map for this tank, because this tank does really well as a kind of a mid-range sniper, double bushing on people, relocating fairly quickly. That's pretty much how you want to play this vehicle. It's a support vehicle more than else, a support medium. It's not going to be your kind of primary damage dealer, but in this case we're going to have to be, because it's Paris and it's brawling. So put a shot into the Progetto straight at the start, some good spotting by our links there. Now you may notice I'm going full APCR, because yes, I am going full tryhard on this tank, because I want this third mark and it's been really frustrating. Because the AP velocity on this thing is just ass, and also when you're getting up tiered a lot or facing a lot of things like defenders and VK100s, as I was saying before, which my luck, I have been getting that a lot. You're gonna want to carry that, particularly with the fairly low 35 shell count. So we're just poking this corner, just positioning ourselves to get a shot at the corner if anyone peeks. Unfortunately, our Scorpion does get in a bit of the way, so you know, little awkward there. He spots the Caravan Action X there. I'm poking forward here to try and get a shot at the Caravan, because he's poking forward to try and get the links. With the shot there, he does spot us in return, but doesn't do anything back towards us. The enemy 252U is also there, so we do have to be mindful of him. But it's already a couple of teammates down. We've lost our links, and we have lost our STA-1. The other team, meanwhile, have lost their M4190 and one of their artillery. Now, losing their artillery is actually going to be nice for me, because for late game things, I don't have to worry about them shitting on me. Now we get not only do we get a good shot into the lower plate of the Caravan, we also rolled for the exact same as we rolled on the Progetto, and we got a lucky bounce there. Now, that bounced, you can actually see at the back there, you've got little angled parts on the back of your tank. Now, those can sometimes bounce. I don't expect them to, because they're not that thick. I think they're only something like 30 millimeters, but that's still enough to bounce the 20 pounder on the Caravan, because that's only 83 millimeters in caliber. Meanwhile, our Scorpion does take out the enemy links, but we've now lost our Progetto 46 as well, and our Batchat 12T. Enemy team have lost their links, but now we've lost one of our Scorpions, who for some reason thought that sitting very far forward against the 252U and a Caravan Action X was the right thing to do. So now I've decided I'm going to pull back and see what I can do about the middle now. There's a couple of TDs in there, and yeah, that Scorpion is, oh yeah, you're not in a good place there, buddy. So I'm going to put a couple of shots into him. Unfortunately, though, we do get spotted. If you notice on the map there's a Panther 88 in the middle, so we take that last shot at the Scorpion, and we turn our asses round, preparing for this Panther 88, who is going... He is going to go, do something pretty, dumb, is the answer. Well, for a start, coming around that corner when, you know, he'd spotted me before, not the smartest thing to do, but, also what he's about to do just now. Yeah, yes, he is rushing us. And the Scorpion notices that and finishes him off. Good job to that Scorpion, actually. That Scorpion driver, Captain Florian there, shout out to him. He was actually really good this match. He could... Unfortunately for him, he got a bit unlucky with some shots, but he played this to the best of his ability, and he did a really good job for the position that he's in. We then pull back, spot the enemy Scorpion. We were quite lucky to spot through those bushes there, and we get the killing blow on him. He probably doesn't have the best crew, which is probably why he didn't spot us, or maybe he didn't have the equipment. Either way, I'll take it. One thing for this tank is it does have a relatively decent camo skill for... Not camo skill, camo rating for a medium at tier 8. It's nothing special, don't rely on it, but it can definitely help for when you're double bushing. Or for situations like that where you're against a player who may not have all the equipment, and you can kind of deal with them that way. Now we've got to turn back and deal with this Super Pershing because, well, I don't want someone coming up behind me. We do bounce. This guy did bounce off that 30mm plate on the front that I was talking about before, because it was at such an angle where you wouldn't. Did put a shot through our side there, but he was over-angled, and we put a shot through his side. Now, next, there's the enemy 252U. Now, the defender. Yeah, this guy's going to be a problem. Now, he knows we're still here, but... yeah, he still came forward. Don't ask me why. I can't really explain that, because, you know, well, the tanks players. They're kind of hard to predict at times. I'm sure you guys are well aware of this. Now, I do kind of waste a bit of time here. I probably should have been trying to deal with tanks on the other side, like the HWK, the TVP, and the ISU, but I really wanted this guy dead first, because he is a one-shot, and it is a defender, and they are always big threats, so... Now, at this point, I'm just trying to keep him spotted so I can see what he's trying to do first. See what kind of angle he's taking. Now, I do see that he's trying to hide in a little hidey hole there, so I'm trying to pull back, maybe get a shot on his cupola, but then I kind of think, maybe just in case he tries to boop his gun down just enough with the rocking of his tank to get the shot on me, so I think, no, not the best idea, so I decide to move away and try and get myself just far enough away to get unspotted. I think that guy's not going to move from there for now, so I'm just going to wait right here for the moment. Just kind of lurk around, get myself unspotted, make sure I'm not at an angle where the HWK who's approaching our base can spot me as well. So now I'm unspotted, keeping an eye out to my left for the HWK and the ISU. There's the ISU spotted by our Panther 88, taking aim at him. Unfortunately that one missed, that went up to the right from what it looks like. And then I decide those guys need to hold them off for the moment. The Panther 88 does have the mod 1 for the moment, so I'd figure, let's just get rid of this guy before he decides to leave his hidey hole. And fortunately for us, he was not prepared for us coming back down here. As you can see, he was pointing his gun right at the ground there as well, so we took advantage of that and finished him off. Meanwhile, TVP has killed the mod 1. And now we've got the ass of this HWK. We do put a shot into him there. He's trying to get rid of our Panther 88. But as you can see, we're going to try and get the last shot on him, but just a bit late. I reacted a bit slow there and still pulled the trigger when I didn't need to. Now it's just down, now it's down to a 2v4. Only teammate I've got left is the AMX CDA 105. Now this guy's also been doing actually pretty well. I'm looking down the middle for the TVP or the HWK, no spots on either of them. They didn't spot me in return. And then I'm going to watch to my right here, because I'm, again, looking for both of those two, the TVP and the HWK. Nothing yet. And then I decide to see what I can find down the next alleyway, to make sure that they don't come around the CDA. I want him to look out for anything coming from the north there, towards kind of E2. And I'm going to poke this way, side scrape round. And there's the HWK. He takes the hit for the TVP. Probably better that we get him actually over the TVP, because that takes a gun out the match with a single shot. So we're on 3 kills. And already we have quite a bit of damage. We're on 3884 combined, which is really, really nice. So we're just moving around this way here to the left of our AMX CDA. So that way, we've got an angle where we can shoot this Panther 2. And Panther 2 takes a hit from the CDA. Unfortunately for us, the accuracy, or rather lack of accuracy for this gun, kind of screwing us over. And we're just trying to get shots into him while he's distracted by the CDA. Unfortunately, our CDA does go down, and now we just have to finish off this Panther. So we do high roll just enough to kill him. Now I'm just going to reload and see if I can get the shot on the TVP as he tries to come around the corner here. He does see us. He does put a shot into us. That is the 88mm, by the way. That's 240 alpha. As you can see, the lack of armor there, not really doing us any favors. He's pulling all the way back, which does show this guy is trying to play cautious. So I'm pulling this way just to try and get him to think I'm going that way, and then we do the whole, yeah, I'm gonna go back the same way maneuver, where, you know, go one direction, make them think you're going one way. There's the ISU. We weren't expecting him to be on this side. We were expecting him to be coming around to what's now our back. He doesn't fire there, but for some reason, yeah, I don't know how he missed that one either. So we put another shot into him. We low roll, unfortunately, and that allows the TVP, who's now come up behind us, to get a shot. ISU fires again. Not exactly sure why, so we're going to finish him off with the next shot. There he goes. TVP now rushing around. Bounce the first shot. Now, the next part is going to be very important. We are actually going to get a crit on him right here. Now, that broke his ammo rack. You're going to see that we're going to actually reload most of the way, and it's only going to be now that he fires another shot and that bounces off. He would not have one-shot us with that anyway, and now we reload in time and we finish him off. So, bit of a monster carry that match. That was, yeah, I wasn't expecting that to go just as well as it did. Yeah, so as you can see, we got ourselves an ace tank. I'm just going to zoom in on this for you guys a little bit. How's that? There we go, right in there. So as you can see, ace tanker. I did actually apply the bonus experience to this afterwards, which gave me an extra 7,000 XP to add to the 5,000 I got from this match. 153,000 credits, which was pretty juicy. I still made a profit on this despite firing all the APCR in the world. I think it was only something like 21,500, but still pretty decent considering. We of course got 6 kills for the Top Gun and a monstrous 5,893 damage in an all tier 8 match, which, to put that in perspective, if I just bring across the next one here, so you guys can see that the next top on damage on my team was in fact that Scorpion G that I was talking about before, and then after him was the AMX CDA. Like I was saying, those guys did well. I was really impressed with them, despite the situations they got themselves into. So Captain Florian and Doctor, I don't remember the rest of the numbers in his name, but if you guys are seeing this at all, somehow, by some miracle, you find my tiny ass YouTube channel, GG to you guys. You were awesome that match. Like, genuinely, you guys did really, really well. And for you guys who maybe want to see exactly how much I spent in that match, yeah, your wallets are going to be scared of this one. Look at that. Look at that ammo cost. 105,000. Oof. Like I say, we still made a profit. I was really happy with this match. And well worth getting the double on that one. So, final verdict on the STG. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this tank at all. It plays a lot like a sniper on most maps, like I was saying, mid-range. It's okay, it's good at getting tracking because, I mean, you've got a 122, so you can get some easy tracking damage with it. But otherwise, if this comes up for sale, don't bother. Don't bother. It's not worth it. If you want a sniper that's actually pretty decent for a medium at tier 8, get the Ravioli. The M4 the Revelarize. Because that is a far better sniper than this tank. Sure, it's not as quick, but you're going to have a better time with the gun and the gun depression and the overall flexibility. This tank, I mean, it's trying to be somewhere between the Object 416 and the Ravioli. It doesn't really work in most situations. It's just a bad tank. And personally, I do feel like it's one of the worst non-preferential premium mediums at tier 8. Definitely one of the worst for those specific characteristics. And honestly, I wouldn't... I think I would put it in one of my, like, 3 worst tier 8s. I would have, like, as far as non-preferential ones go, I would probably have this, then the T-34-2, and the third one, now that's a very hard one to decide on, because we have things like the TVP VTU. Anyway, guys, that's all from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, those that stuck around to the end, and hopefully I'll get another video made soon. I'll see what time I can fit in, because I do have a lot going on at the moment. I've got an interview for a job coming up, so, yeah. Hopefully that goes well, and I'll update you guys anytime I hear anything on that, and of course I'll keep you guys notified on anything on Twitter. Peace!